Switzerland joining us, Coach Adeyemi Adeleke, joining us all the way from Switzerland this morning. Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Kayode, and everyone in the studio. Good morning, I'm fine. How are you?
You need to check the connection again. Is off.
Me, I can hear
You need
you.
to check. All right. Let's. We'll establish contact with the coach from Switzerland. Hello, Coach. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning,
Hello, this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kayode. Me, I can hear you very well, and good morning, everyone in the studio. And I'm fine. How are you too?
Hello.
I'm fine. How are you too? Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Yeah, we're fine. Great, 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 great. Yes, welcome back. Welcome again. You know, the last time we had a conversation, I said, what were you expecting to see? You said, we won't see anything until the game that you gave, you predicted how the game between Gabon will go. Eventually, it went out fine. But yesterday, let's talk about what went down between Nigeria and DR Congo.
First and
The first
foremost,
half,
first and
hello?
foremost, yeah,
All right.
first and
Yeah.
foremost, let's appreciate and be grateful that we have a father that is a loving, that is a sport-loving father, who is President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, because he supported the club,
Okay.
he could support the team financially, and he stood by them to make sure that all their logistics is well meet. And the other things we have to look into is this. I have to be honest with you. There's three elements that control football. Before that's why when I decided not to analyze the match yesterday, when you on Saturday, when you asked me about the match, three elements that control football, which many people may not agree with me, but I have to tell you this: it comes the physicality, the spirituality, and scientifically, and the scientifically. So in these three things, you have to understand how it works for them to be able to work for you. Why I decided not to analyze that match before the game is because I have been doing it for the past 5 years now. 2020, when Eguavon was with Cameroon, when he was in Cameroon AFCON, I said Nigeria will not go beyond the round of 16, and it went like that. I have been saying it time without number, predicting the scores, and everything was going on my exactly according to my position. Why? I take the database and analyze it, and I come to conclusion. The strength and weakness of opponents and strength and weakness of my team. Then I come to conclusion what type of tactical movement we can use physically so that we can be able to outplay the player. But those things take a lot of energy from me, and I see that doing it, I need to every 30 minutes I have to watch 90 minutes match. Every 30 minutes you have to keep record how the opponent is playing, how they defend. Like when you look at yesterday now, the reason I supported DR Congo, that I'm not confident of playing them, that I prefer to play Cameroon, is when I analyze them in the AFCON. They are a good sound team that they dominate South Africa, but South Africa win them luckily in the third place. Then they were in fourth position. And when you go to this World Cup qualifying, you see how outstanding the DR Congo is, although they are small in population, but their football has go. They have a good structure, better than Nigerian structure when it comes to football. And you can see that when we talk about samba football, you can say DR Congo is one of the Brazilian in African soil today, because I said it before the game. I said they are going to win us in the midfield because their strength lies on the midfield. They have a good quick transition. They have cohesion. They like to play short passes. They like to keep the ball. They are aggressive with the ball, without the ball. They are more unite as a team defensively and offensively. But our team, the reverse is the case. We depend on the player. When that player is not functioning, then you don't see the best of Super Eagles. So what I'm trying to say today right now, many people know this, that I'm a lover of football. I'm a patriotic player, coach. I also support patriotic Nigeria. I support the Super Eagles for a long time, but I always like to say it the way it is because many people does not like the truth. But that team yesterday deserve to win because they have a lot of cohesion. They play in dynamic. When they have the ball, they play with 2-2-6. When they lose the ball, they play with 4-5-1. So that means to say they know their onions. When they came to second half, they changed the system of their football. They have to play sometimes with 2-4-2, 2-4-2. So all these things is all about tactical movement. So Nigeria does not even deserve to get a result in that match. We are lucky to have to end the match 1-1 for 120 minutes. Because if you watch the only time Nigeria have a good game, it was just the 21st, 25 or 20 minutes of the game. After then, we are nowhere to be found.
Looking at, let's come down to it. Yeah, you said that, let's look at the tactics now. Yesterday, deployed by the manager, Eric Shell. He started well, like you said, but at some point they lost focus, they got the eyes off the ball, and the team collapsed. What was really responsible? At what point can you see what would we have done better to have maintained the rhythm at which we started?
Yeah, behind the closed door, I do this always with some people that are closer to him. I analyze matches and I give them my reply and I tell them the tactics as it fits to the game. If you watch in your studio yesterday, I was here too. I told you that I don't want to speak about the tactical aspect. I want the video analyst that is there to do his job. What went wrong in our team is this. If you watch the game, the system I told you yesterday that I want, if you can play that system, you can be able to contain the Congolese. And he did that. I said you have to play with three men in the midfield. He decided not to play Akko from the onset. They have to play three midfield, Oyedika, Ndidi, and Iwobi, so that we can be able to contain them. And that worked for us for the first 20 minutes. What collapsed in that game is after scoring the first goal, we have other 2 or 3 chances to take 2 against 3 against the opponent. We could not take that chance to make it 2-0. That is one. Secondly, what the weakness of the Super Eagles is they are not defending in collectively. Like the first goal they score, you can see they make a long pass and they go in one-on-one, and he cuts the ball. And he also has one-on-one against their opponent, and the guy jabbed the ball into the net. We lack collective defensive work. When you don't defend in collective, you are not compact enough. A good team that have more ball circulation, they are so good on ball, who are technically sound better than us, they will punish you in a good day. We can be lucky that the match ended penalty, because if we look all around the game yesterday, the Congolese are far better than the Super Eagles. But kudos to Eric Shell for work well done, because where it take us up to this moment, we never expect that we're going to get there. But I can say kudos to him. He has done a very good job. He deserves my flower. The lads, which are the boys, they also deserve my flower, because they give it all. Penalties anybody's game.
Coach, let's look at at some point when it was obvious the match was going to get to the penalty. The coach substituted, there was an attacker, and he brought in the defender. I think it was almost over when we brought in a defender. And is it that they weren't thinking that the match would go in penalty? Like the other person brought in their best goalkeeper, but for Nigeria, the defender you brought in just added to the defense. It wasn't even a penalty taker if you look at it. So there are a lot of people who have kind of have issues with the game management prowess of Eric Shell. They find problem with the way he manages games. That most times he just make some mistakes that will cost the team.
If I have to be honest with you, if he did not change Arokodare in that minute, he changed Arokodare. You can see that even after he changed it, the Congolese, they have one heading that Nwabade parry over the ball. They are better than us in the sense that when we are playing them with 4-4-3, sometimes we switch to diamond form, 4-2-1-3 in diamond form when he was playing. So when he switched to 4-4-2, the team collapsed immediately. The opponent has dominion. I said this in your studio on Saturday. I said if we play the same way we are playing with 2 midfield, we are going to get punished. You see that there was a lot of pressure in the first 20 minutes in the second half. The opponent, they have more chances than us until he switched the system again to 4-4-3, that we play more with 1 man per player in the middle. Then the game was a little bit balanced when you have to put Arokodare. But when you see it again the last 20 minutes to the extra time again, and 15 minutes during the extra time, he saw that the pressure was too much. If he's not careful, they were going to lose in the open game. So for him not to lose in the open game, he decided now to bring one defensive midfielder so that we can contain them again in the middle. So that at the end of the day, if we went to penalty is anybody's game, and he believed that Nwabali is good on penalty shootout, that maybe we can have the luck to overcome the Congolese. That is, as a coach, many coaches do that. It's tactics in the last minute. You can bring somebody in and take him out again for you not to be in the safer side, because other people are giving more than the player you bring in. So when you are not bringing more than the expectation of the coach, definitely, no matter you came in 2 minutes into the game, the coach have the right again to bring you out because you are not following instruction.
All right, let's go on a break. Hold it. I just have one more question before I allow you to go on. So we need to play some games now, right? When we return, we'll talk then. You're going to still also, for our listeners, 008 on Smiles Radio 98.7. We're still talking about the Super Eagles World Cup miss. And we've got Dario Lenny guys in the building. Our producer is Sky Adibile. Christiana Mishaki is also here. And there is all the way from Switzerland, Coach Adeyemi Anthony is also Anthony is also with us, and we're talking about the yesterday's game. My colleague here, Coach, we want to ask you a question. Gary, do you have a question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is my question. You see, African football is very, very physical. And we see when we had Mikel as our number 10, he's very strong that even he can keep the ball from defense to the attack, nobody will be able to wrestle it from him. If you look at Iwobi, very good in the when he plays in the club side. But I think when it comes to the strength and energy that is required of African football, he's lacking it. Then I noticed that in this qualifier series, I noticed the way African defenders, the way they are exercising their energy on Lukman, right? I want to ask, do you think that all these foreign-born players, and then let's now look at Iwobi and Lukman now, do they have that kind of energy, to compete with African defenders?
To be honest with you, like I said earlier before, I say football has gone beyond just the physical. Football is a contact sport. You have to be physically strong, mentally strong, and also otherwise, which is spiritually strong. And it's contained also scientific. So if modern day football, you have tactics and dynamic movement supersede physicality. If you watch those players yesterday, they only go for the physicality when it's heading ball on air, or when you go to shoulder. But if you see them, they play more free-flowing football. It makes it difficult for the Super Eagles to be able to contain them. So when the football goes beyond the physicality, you have to be more flexibility. You have to play more flowing football. When you release the ball as quick as possible and you are disciplined in every part of the field, then the opponent will find it difficult to come with the physicality. So what you will see is the technically the speed, the aggressiveness with the ball, without the ball, and compact, and the units in marking in units. If you have these three things, it shows that you can play in the African